You're not confused. You're just avoiding the work that would expose you. So let's get this out of the way immediately before we get into some powerful, life-changing shit. You're not confused. You're not overwhelmed. You're not stuck because you don't know what to do. You know exactly what to do, what's going to move your life forward, what's holding you back. And that's the part that you don't want to sit with and have a raw conversation about. You know you should be training consistently. You know you should have structure to your days that move you forward mentally and physically. You know you should stop numbing yourself with distractions and substances. You know you should be doing the uncomfortable work that you keep planning to do later, and yet you don't. And the worst thing is, it's not even because you're incapable, because doing it would expose you. Expose how undisciplined you actually are. Expose how long you've been lying to yourself. It exposes the gap between who you think you are and how you actually live. So instead, you just stay confused, because confusion is safer than truth. Let me say that again. Staying confused is safer than truth. So here's the lie that you tell yourself every day. You keep telling yourself that you're still figuring things out, that you're just in a phase, that life's just too busy and stressful, you've got too much going on right now, that once things calm down, you'll lock the fuck in. You tell yourself this because it protects your identity, because as long as you're still figuring it out, you don't have to confront the possibility that you're choosing comfort over growth. But here's the truth that you don't want to hear. Nobody likes to hear, but it's a powerful, life-changing truth. You're not figuring anything out. You're just postponing your exposure, because the moment you commit properly, there's no more excuses left. And that's a beautiful thing when you face it head on. And that's exactly why you consume self-improvement, but don't execute. Because this part will sting if you're honest. You like the feeling of self-improvement content because it lets you feel aligned without changing. And you understand the concepts, you know the language, you can explain why consistency matters, why discipline is important, why mindset plays a role, and that makes you feel like you're progressing, like you're moving forward. But insight without execution is just intellectual comfort. It gives the illusion of movement without the risk of failure. And execution is dangerous to your ego, because execution produces evidence, and evidence doesn't care how intelligent or how self-aware you are. And the real reason that you avoid structure is because you say you want freedom, you want more money, you want more happiness, more confidence. But what you actually want is optionality. You want to wake up and decide how you feel today. Decide whether your feelings are going to make today count or not. Decide whether your standards apply. But having a daily structure removes that. Structure forces you to confront yourself on the bad days, on the tired days, on the emotionally flat days, because we all have those. And those are the days that expose who you really are, who you really want to be. So you avoid structure and just call it flexibility. But flexibility without standards is just a drift with a better strapline and better branding to it. But here's why staying the same feels safer than changing. And it's the part that you rarely admit, even to yourself, let alone to the people around you. Changing means the risking the confirmation of your deepest fear, that maybe you're not as capable as you think you are, that maybe your potential is not guaranteed, that maybe effort doesn't magically fix everything. So you stay half committed. But half committed really means you can always say, I'd have been better, I'd have done better if I really tried, if I really committed myself. But that sentence protects you from the truth, but it also slowly poisons you. Because every year you delay, the shame gets heavier. Not dramatic shame, the quiet shame, the one that builds up bit by bit, that kind that shows up as irritability, restlessness, anxiety, and that low-level self-disgust and self-hatred. Because the exhaustion you feel and the tiredness you feel isn't from doing too much. You're not tired because you're pushing too hard. You're tired because you're constantly negotiating with yourself. Every day you wake up and redecide everything. How hard am I going to go today? Who am I going to be? Should I train? Should I work on the thoughts in my head today? Should I do my subconscious reprogramming? Should I focus today or take a day off and chill? Should I start properly now or later? That mental back and forth drains you more than working on the right things ever will. Because men with structure are calmer, not because life's easier, but because their decisions are already made. It's just a case of executing. And that's exactly what changed my life. It wasn't motivation, confidence, self-belief, honesty. I stopped pretending that I could trust myself without systems, because my life proved that I couldn't. Left on my own feelings, I drifted, I made excuses that sounded intelligent, and I kept on waiting for the right time. And that nearly cost me everything. But what changed my life was building a daily system for physical and mental growth that didn't care how I felt and kept me building momentum on the good days, the bad days, the excited days, the flat as a pancake, tired, uncertain days. The work still got done. That's the foundation of everything I teach now with my private clients, and it's exactly why I built the Become Unfuckwithable blueprint. The link's in the description to the video. It's free. Download it and let it change your life. And that's why the quick fixes keep on failing you. You say you want to change fast because you're embarrassed that it's taken you so long. And trust me, I get it. I fucked my life up for years and then wanted to change it all in 6 weeks. And then you look back at the last few years and think, I should be way further than I am right now. So you try to compress the growth into a shorter time frame, extreme bursts, all or nothing plans, radical resets, things that you can't stick to. And when you can't sustain them, you confirm the story to yourself that something is wrong with you. But nothing is wrong with you inherently. You're just trying to undo years and years of conditioning instead of actually just doing daily repetition that builds momentum, because that's not how humans work. Identity changes through boring consistency. Because the work you're avoiding isn't complicated. This might be the most challenging part of the video. The work you're avoiding isn't complex. It's so simple. Train your body regularly. Do daily mental work. Remove distractions that numb you and create daily non-negotiables and stick to them even when you don't feel like it. Because just because something's simple doesn't mean it's easy. Simple means it leaves you with nowhere to hide, and you can look at success in any area of your life. It's simple, but it's not necessarily easy. But that's why intelligence has become your biggest obstacle. You're smart because you try and justify everything. You can explain your behavior in a way that sounds reasonable. You're not reckless, you're not chaotic, you're just functional, getting by, which means you've got no crisis that forces you to hit a rock bottom and change. So you sit in the most dangerous place that a man can sit, comfortable, but frustrated, not bad enough to want to change, but not good enough to be truly proud of yourself and excited about your life. And weeks, months, and then years slip by. But this is where your urgency needs to come in. So let me just be blunt with you, like I always am. This will not fix itself. And the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to trust yourself. The harder it becomes to get started. The heavier the feeling of the shame and the self-hatred and the self-disgust. You don't just wake up one day magically disciplined. You build discipline by doing the work when you don't feel ready. And the longer you delay, the more painful that first step's going to feel. But that's fine. Let's get it fucking done and start moving forward. That's what the Become Unfuckwithable blueprint gives you. The link's in the description. It's free. It's changed my life and so many of my clients' lives. It's a daily operating system. Clear physical standards, clear mental standards, simple, repeatable actions that rebuild self-trust one day at a time. It removes the guesswork. It removes the negotiation. It removes the need to feel motivated. So you stop relying on feel-good feelings and vibes and start relying on structure. And that's when things finally start to stick and you start building momentum. But once you've done that, here's the next step, a power hour breakthrough call, because some men don't need more information. They need honesty. They need someone to look at their patterns and say, this is where you're lying to yourself and holding you back. This is the next step that's going to help you fully lock in. This is what you need to stop pretending about. And that's why I've created the power hour breakthrough call in the first place. Click the link in the description and book one. 1 hour will go deep, no coaching, no therapy, just raw clarity. One conversation that can save you months and months of drifting, because the real choice is right there in front of you. This isn't about becoming some different magical person. It's about building the version of yourself that you already are. It's about stopping the quiet self-betrayal, because you already know the kind of man that you respect. The question is whether you're willing to live up to him or keep protecting yourself for the version of you that avoids the exposure. Staying the same every day costs you every day. Changing every day also costs you every day, but I know which one I'd rather do. Both of those prices compound. It's your decision what you're going to do, because let me just say it one more time before I go. You're not confused. You're avoiding the work that would expose you. And now that you see it, you can't unsee it. So start small, get structured, and start honestly, but just start. Because once you start, the dominoes start falling, the momentum starts building, you start believing in yourself. Because the man you could be is not going to be waiting forever. And I know you can feel it in here in your chest, in here in your mind. You have them visions of who you'd be if you're fully locked in and become the best version of yourself physically, the best version of yourself mentally, the most unfuckwithable version of yourself. And I'm not even going to talk about money directly in this video, There's 1,001 ways to make money, but whatever your vehicle of making money is, if you lock in physically and mentally, you're going to find it infinitely easier to make money, to hold on to the money, to multiply the money once you've made it. It's such a better way to live. And I know this personally because I've gone from over 20 grand in debt, addicted to drugs, living a life of crime, hating myself. And now I love my life. Every day it gets that little bit better, little bit better. And it's just an exciting adventure to see how good I can actually make life be. So click the links in the description, get your free copy of the Become Unfuckwithable Blueprint, book a power hour breakthrough call if you're really ready. And I'll see you in the next video. Let's fucking go.